we're not paying you.
right.
Yeah?
And you might get some kind of Muga virus or whatever. Like, no.
Great job. We want you to go do it somewhere else for free.
Totally not doing that job. Larry, can I get a mic check?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, barely, but yeah.
No, he just wants a mic check.
Turn it down some more. I can hear one of your TVs, though, so I won't turn it down too much. Alright, here we go. June 26, 2016. Undead from Cleveland. You're listening to Video Game News Radio with your host, Kevin Baird.
Brian Baird.
Don Anderson.
And Larry Mack.
Okay, we're back. We were off last week because the Cavalier basketball team had a game. No, it was like the big game. I'm sure you know. I think the whole world knows what happened. So it's not like you could avoid it. You know, it was news. So we don't get to be part of news in Cleveland. So everybody had to watch and see what happened. And it turned out good. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure one of us wouldn't be on the show this week. There would have been a suicide. I'm not sure which one.
The world would have been on fire.
Probably wouldn't have been Brian. But you never know. Could have been.
Brian's diehard sports.
Yeah. All the time they were playing basketball, I was playing basketball too.
Before we catch up on everybody's week and what went down, we're going to do our top 20 games of the week. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of drinking in this one because it's all games for once. But we're not doing movers and shakers. We're doing the top 20 list. So here we go. Number 20 is Doom for the PlayStation 4. Number 19 is Star Fox Zero for the Nintendo Wii U. Number 18, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. That's just going to be more coin collecting. Because Lego games are fun for kids, but I can't play those things, man. It's just me running around gathering coins.
So you don't like games that involve stealth, or collecting coins, or jumping?
Jumping over lava. Jumping over lava immediately gets your game an F on my scorecard. Regardless
you don't seem to be a huge fan of MMORPGs.
No, I'm not. I'm not playing one.
Okay, so we've eliminated platformers, MMOs, coin collecting games.
Kevin likes fighting games, though. Anytime he gets to beat the shit out of some little kid, that's just great.
Look, I'm playing Torchlight 2. I'm playing The Division. And now we're going to play H1Z1. So I don't know what you call all those games, but playing plenty of games.
Gotcha.
Playing some 3DS, playing a strategy game on PC, playing Resident Evil right now. I got all kinds of gaming going on. Number 17, No Man's Sky for the PlayStation 4. Number 16, 7 Days to Die for the PlayStation 4. Number 15, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens for the Xbox 360. Number 14, Zero Time Dilemma for the Vita. Number 13, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens for the PlayStation 4. Number 12, again, but for the Wii U. Number 11, Zero Time Dilemma for the 3DS. Number 10, Overwatch for the PlayStation 4. Number 9, Kirby Planet Robobot for the Nintendo 3DS. Number 8, Overwatch for the Xbox One. Number 7, Minecraft for the Wii U. Number 6, Lego Star Wars Force Awakens Deluxe Edition for the Xbox One. Because everybody wants to play this fucking Lego game. Sorry. Number 5, Monster Hunter Generations for the 3DS. Number 4, Uncharted 4 A Thief's End for the PlayStation 4. Number 3, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens Deluxe Edition for the PlayStation 4. Number 2, Tokyo Mirage Sessions for the Wii U. And number 1, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness for the PlayStation 4. That's your top 20 games of the week.
Those were literally all games, and damn it, I'll drink to that.
Yeah. No action figures this week. Must be out of favor. Let's catch up with everybody. Brian, pause your game and tell us how your week went.
I've been on vacation all week, and I've been sort of running between different games. Elder Scrolls Online. I posted a little video of going back to some of the old realms of when we played Oblivion. Diablo 3, needless to say, of course. And I told my brother that I was playing that app game Freeblade, which is a really decent little mech warrior kind of game, except for all the goddamn advertisements, which really suck. But aside from that, vacation was nice and uneventful. I did fuck all around the house, cleaned the house a little bit, got some things done, got paperwork to take care of my naturalization shit. I'm just waiting for it to finally fucking get sent to me, because the day I got a hold of City Hall to like send me a copy of my divorce certificate was the day that Cleveland had their parade, and that's all I heard about on the phone. So hopefully somebody actually got that message. There's not a bunch of dead, mailmen, because some hoodlums decided to hold up camp, make their camp there next to City Hall. That's about it, really. I go back to work, and then my fate will be decided by what's coming up. I have no idea. I've been told they're going to hire me, but I'm not holding my breath.
When does that go down?
Huh?
It goes down this week?
So the official takeover is next month.
Oh, next month.
I know we had a meeting, but I didn't go to it because it was like Samantha's graduation that day from college, and I can't miss that. So, I couldn't miss it, so I went to that instead, which I'm still glad I went to it. But when I went back, I asked, so what did I miss? They're like, nothing, don't worry about it. Okay. So, anyway, I'll find out. One way or the other, I'm not overly worried about it. Just, some slight concern, but nothing that's involving shitloads of sleep loss. Just the usual sleep loss that we all get when we get older, and we just discover that we're going to die a lot sooner than we thought. And let's see, movies. Have I seen any movies? No. Nothing I would talk about. The only one that I remember is one my brother let me watch, which was really good. A little short film for Star Trek.
You want to talk about your daughter's graduation?
Well, I discussed it the last time I was on the show, because that was actually about a month ago. I think.
I mean the party.
Oh, the party, yeah. That was kind of tame. I left before all the old people got too drunk. Lots of food. My daughter really set up, she graduated from college, and she, from Culinary Institute there, the community college, and set up a huge little soiree and a bunch of, like a buffet. Food was good. I enjoyed, I know some of her friends and her boyfriend and stuff, and, just talked with them, hung out. And then my ex-wife, I was talking with her, and then more of her relatives showed up, and then I decided it was time to go. So, that was not the reason why, just there was getting to be too many people. And it was probably like the last nice day of June. Now it's hell. Now it's like 90 plus degrees. I went out today, went grocery shop. I'm like, I'm dying. Walking out to the car, I'm like, it was like Rain Man. I'm like, dying. I'm dying. It's hot. I'm dying. It's hot. Hot. It's dying. Hot.
I'll go.
Yeah. Open the car door, and it's like, I might as well just like open a dragon's mouth. It's like, you just sacrifice yourself to Vol. It's like walked right into that fucker. Like, yeah, I'm set. I don't need to live anymore. I'm just gonna go here because it looks hurty and hot, and sit on these nice hot seats. I'm surprised the car just hasn't exploded. I keep waiting for that to happen. And the Cavs won. Okay,
True.
We'll discuss that. So, I didn't watch it because I knew if I did, I would jinx it. I thought we were going to lose, because Tripp is always posting like Cleveland's going to just accept that you're just done.
Right.
Which is always funny. Because I'm like, I know why he's doing it, because he does that for the same reason I didn't watch the rest of the game, because he's afraid to jinx us too. And then like, my girlfriend came home from work, and I wasn't watching the game, and she didn't sound like she was very interested in the game, and then we listened to it, really tense, kind of looking at each other. We're both just, I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, it's Cleveland. Something's going to fuck this up. Something is going to fuck this up.
Right.
Then LeBron got hurt, and I'm like, of course. See, Warriors, do you see what you get? And then we won anyway. And then my daughter was like, is it going to be like the 4th of July out there? I'm like, no, honey, it's going to be like Devil's Night out there.
Yeah, don't go.
She's like, what's Devil's Night? I'm like, you'll see. But no, people in Cleveland behave themselves, I heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay. Don, how was your week?
I didn't say I was done, goddammit. No, it's okay.
How was your 2 weeks?
It was all right. Let me pause my game.
Good idea.
Yeah, it was all right. It was good. The Cavs won, obviously, blah, blah, blah. But I discussed that on Tumbling with Tumbleweed because we discussed sports there. And
when does that air again, Donnie?
Tuesday nights at 11 p.m. Of course, you can find it for free on iTunes. So if you just go to iTunes and look for Tumbling with Tumbleweed, you will find every episode. Well, I think so. I think you'll find it. I don't know. Whatever. Also talked about Dean Ambrose being the champ, which is stupid. But whatever. I only say that for Kevin, so. I didn't want to respond to your last text. Like I'm not even gonna. No, I'm not gonna do it. So, other than that, obviously, like I said, the Cavs won, so that was exciting. Like Brian said, it got down to that last 10 seconds. I was hanging out with Curtis and Clint, and it was the last 10 seconds, and then LeBron got hurt, and that's when I looked at everybody and was like, "Yep, see, that's how it works. That's how it happens. That's Cleveland right there. Like you're on the cusp. No, you're not.
Fumble at the goal line.
You know. So, but other than that, I had heard rumors about an arcade, a video arcade around the area here, in the North Ridgeville area, and I found it, which wasn't really hard once you like Google it, something.
Looked for it.
Yeah. Once you
actually attempted to find it.
Right. When I was like, hey, you know what? What's this? Oh, I just got to click on this. Click. Oh, look, there it is. Which was really cool. It's in North Ridgeville, out by where Kevin used to live with Dan James, and it's like you pay. All the games are on free play, or they have a little button where you can add the credits, and you pay $5 for an hour, or you can just pay $10 and play for as long as you want. And they have, I don't want to say they have everything, but they have half of everything. They've got both Tron games. They have Dragon's Lair. Of course, they have the classics like Missile Command, Asteroids, Frogger, Donkey Kong, Joust, Track and Field. They got the 3-player Rampage game. They got the 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the guy's like, yeah, I got like 18 other games at home that I could just trade in and out. And I was like, this is the greatest. When I walked in, and it was dark, and there were video game lights, video game noises, and there was 80s music playing. And I stood there for a second and was just like, where am I? Where am I? This can't be right.
You're up to par.
Right, that's what I was like, am I up to par? Am I at Lunar Landing? Am I at the Great American Game Room? What was that other one? Pocket Change? But yeah, so I found that, took Sophie up there, and I introduced her to a world she only dreamt of, you know. And I knew I did a good thing, because I came walking around the one corner and she was walking around with a stool. And she comes walking past me with a stool. I was like, "Where are you going with that?" She goes, "I'm going to Frogger. I got some business to take care of." And, I was just like, "Okay, go ahead and get your Frogger on." So if you guys, you know, and they're only open Thursday through Sunday, which really sucks, because it's like Monday night. I went to go drive. I was like, well, I'll go over there Monday night. And I went over there Monday and it was closed. I was like, that sucks. I was dreaming about playing Dragon's Lair. Half the patterns came back. I still don't know the other half of them. Luckily, I could Google them and then go back and win. So, other than that, I mean, nothing really major, I don't think. My dad came back from rehab. He's walking around. He's out here walking around with his walker. I just heard him go by the door. Yeah, so I got that going for me, and there you go.
That's good.
Hot as hell.
So they're gonna kick you out any day now?
I'm thinking. I'm just watching what I do and what I say. I figure if I hide in the bedroom and I stay quiet, they'll just forget I'm here. And, I'll be like, you know, pop out every so often. Like if I hear them say like, "Oh, I need to go to the store," and then I'll just run out and be like, "Somebody needs somebody to go to the store because I'm your guy," and you know. I'm just trying to stay in the good graces.
Wait till they go to sleep at night to like crawl out and grab some food and run back to your room with it.
I was making turkey sandwiches at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Just Donnie.
Great. But yeah, that's it. Nothing. I mean, other than that, you know, Father's Day was last week, and I feel like this is stuff I've already talked about. Oh, that's right. Tumbling with Tumbleweed Tuesday nights at 11. My daughter got me a pop figure, one of those pop figures of the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's cool.
So I was like, that's pretty cool. And like a Justice League poster. I'm like, it's DC, but at least it was her money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you made an effort.
You made an effort, you spent your own money on me, I'll take it. So, there you go. That was, other than that, go listen to Tumbling Tumbleweed, that you'll hear all about it.
Okay, Larry, how was your week?
Yeah, I got nothing. Nothing happened the last 3 weeks. No.
Something about a hospital. Something about drinking beers.
Camping. You went camping.
Okay, so let's see. We're looking back at 3 weeks. So yeah, that includes 2 doctor's appointments. As we continue to try and adjust my meds so that I won't be insane. One of them I'm not actually supposed to drink on, but fuck that.
I mean,
That is just straight up not a sacrifice I am willing to make. So the doctor is either going to have to change that med, or we're going to find out what happens if you drink on it. Because no. Let's see what else. The Cavs won. Yes, there was a huge party. Yes, it was 1.3 million people downtown. No, I did not go the fuck near it.
I think maybe 2 or 3 people I know went, and everybody else was like, "No, we didn't."
Oh no, everybody I know was there, and I was like, they're like, "I can't believe you didn't go," and I'm like,
I looked for you.
I
You
was
didn't
like,
see me?
yeah,
I don't know
I was
why we're
like-
honest. Why the fuck did we just tell people we were there? They can't prove we weren't there.
I'm like-
we're all fucking dumbasses. We're like, yeah, we just decided no.
I'm like, let's see. You know that I hate it when it's hot. I hate being in large crowds of people, and I hate standing around for hours. So yeah, a parade is right the fuck up my alley.
yeah.
But no, I was all super pumped, and I was all into that, and I was, watching it, Sunday, and on the edge of my seat, hanging with my friends, and great time. It was awesome. My meds, I hate my fucking meds though, because like,
Your meds hate you.
yeah, I know. Like I think it would be different if it was the Browns, because like on the hierarchy of Cleveland sports teams, it's like the Browns are way on top, the Indians are way the fuck below them, and then the Cavs are a little bit below them. But like I was still pumped, and I was like, and right at the end of the game, and I can only blame the meds for this, since they're supposed to make me not be ever happy again. I was like, yeah, okay, time to get caught up on my DVR stuff now. Like, as soon as the game was over, I was like, okay, that was awesome. What's next? So let's see. Most of the games I watched either at somebody's house or at a bar or whatever, because it was a time for the community to come together and stuff. 2 weeks ago, I was camping. Went out to Nelson's Ledges for Classic Fest, 3 days of drinking and classic rock cover bands and swimming and all that stuff. And so before we left, like I saw that Friday was going to be warm. I took Friday off of work and went out Friday morning. A bunch of my friends had, were already going to be out there. A couple guys went out like Tuesday to make sure we got a good spot. I got out Friday morning with my friend Susie. Hooked up with my friends out there, and we're hanging out. And I knew that Saturday was supposed to be like a bajillion degrees. It's supposed to be like 93 or something obscene like that. So I would be lying if I said I wasn't concerned. Friday night, it was kind of muggy and warm, so I wound up dragging my cooler into my tent and using the cooler as like a pillow to rest my head against so I didn't die. Saturday morning, I woke up fully expecting to be in agony from sleeping on the ground, and I got to tell you, for a guy with a bad back, sleeping on the ground was great. I popped right the fuck up, and I was like, I should probably be in a lot more pain than this. This is kind of pretty good, actually. So I crawl out of my tent fully expecting to step out onto the surface of the sun. I was like, okay, this isn't bad at all. It must be because it's still early. We're sitting around, we eat some breakfast and drink some beers. Like, okay. And I was like, okay, looks like the weatherman was wrong again. This is pretty fucking nice. I can handle this for the next 2 days. And so we went out to like go up to the the beach, which is where all the like little vendors are and where the stage is set up for the bands. And we're talking, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And I swear to God, like as soon as we hit the end of the tree line and walked out of the shade, I burst into flames. I was like that fucking Vietnamese monk in the fucking picture, fucking setting himself on fire. I was like, I basically just had to run as fast as I could, which of course still took me a half hour because I don't run very fast. Like straight at the beach and just throw myself into the fucking quarry.
It's like that scene from What was that vampire movie that had everybody from Aliens in it? Near
Oh,
Dark.
Near Dark. Yeah.
When the sun came up.
Yeah, exactly. That was me. I was like, give me your beach towel. I need shade.
Putting duct tape over the car window.
See, then I had to come back here to pick up my friend Barbie because she had to stick around town for a funeral. Drove her back out to the Ledges for Saturday night's festivities with like the Pink Floyd cover band, the Jethro Tull cover band, the Stones, a bunch of other stuff. Did some swimming, did a stupid amount of drinking, enjoyed some of That Which Is Kind. Went bumbling through the woods until about 3 or 4 in the morning because like once the concert part is over, you basically just roam around the woods drinking. She brought a giant jug of scotch in her backpack, and we were walking around drinking that. While we checked it, like the other, like a few of the other campsites were, people were just jamming out, playing live music. One area, a bunch of the sites had come together and built this like huge ass bonfire with like a drum circle and fire dancing. So that was Saturday night. Sunday, Susie's car got stuck in the mud. Or no, her battery was dead. My car got stuck in the mud. Left camping. And what else? Last weekend was Father's Day. Got to see one of my kids. The other one was too busy. I don't know what she was doing, visiting a friend or something. Something more important than me. And this weekend, I went out Friday to the Waking Lizard with one of my lady friends. Enjoyed some beers. And then I believe yesterday was my daughter's graduation party, which I was not invited to, so I got that going for me. To give everybody some insight into my family, because I know everybody enjoys hearing my tales of woe. My grandmother called to ask if I would take her and my grandfather to the graduation party, because they're like 100 years old and can't make that drive. And I told her, well, I'm not actually invited to the graduation party. She's like, that's your daughter. I don't believe that. I was like, I'm not sure why I would lie about it, but I'm not. And now it was at my sister's house in Columbus. My grandmother comes back with, well, would you still be willing to take us?
Take us, drop us off at the door, and then you can leave.
I was like, I want to make sure we understand what you're asking. I'm already upset about not being invited to my own daughter's graduation party, so that makes me feel kind of like a useless, worthless failure. You're asking me to spend my day driving you down there and driving around Columbus for a couple hours and picking you up and bringing you back? And my grandmother's answer was, well, you could see a movie or something.
I would have told you the hot spots.
So, needless to say, I didn't do that because I'm a horrible person. And today I was...
That's right.
Today I chilled out around the house and tried not to burst into flames. I do have one movie recommendation, though, unlike Brian. I am going to throw this out there. If you have not had the pleasure of seeing Tucker and Dale versus Evil, do so.
Actually good.
It was so good. Like, I watched it because it was on cable. I was like, this is going to be fucking stupid. And it was so good.
Okay.
Check that out then, finally.
I went and saw The Wailing at the Capitol Theater, which is the refurbished theater the people that the Cleveland Cinema people own. It's over there off Detroit and West 65th. They show regular movies there, but they started doing the Cedar Lee thing, so they started to play independent films too. So I watched The Wailing, which is a Korean, I guess you would call it a horror movie. It's pretty good. It's really long, and like a lot of Korean films, you need like a synopsis at the end because you're missing stuff.
Yeah, all Korean films are just confusing.
Yeah, just confusing. I knew who the bad guy was, but some of the other players, I was like, I'm not sure what their motive was. So,
am I happy that he's dead, or
yeah? But it was 2 hours and 40 minutes, so it was really long. But it was a pretty cool theater. I mean, it's like brand new. Like not the theater itself, but the seats were, and everything they have in there is all carpeted new and everything. So it's pretty cool. And it was weird because the movie was playing in their big theater because they have 3 screens, and the main big theater was where the movie was. Probably seats about, I don't know, 500 people, and there was all of 5 of us in the theater total on a Saturday
Kind of
night.
awesome, though.
So right now, Cleveland doesn't seem to know that there's an art theater at this location, but we'll see what happens in the long run. But it was good. It was a good movie. If you get to see it, it's worth watching. But you don't watch it if you have small kids at home or anything, because about 90% of the movie is just screaming and crying. Just constantly people screaming and crying.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's good, but it's just constant, constantly screaming.
No.
Somebody screaming or crying all the time. I ordered a new television. It's coming on Wednesday. I tell you what, here's my TV story really quick. I don't care about 4K TV. I don't care about it because you need to have eyesight like an eagle to fucking see whatever difference between 1080p and 4K there is. I am an old man, vision's starting to go. I can't even read the text on playing cards that people have without a giant-ass magnifying glass. I do not care about 4K. So I said, okay, cool, I'm going to just buy a big 1080p TV. They're going to be cheap because, they're going out. They're out of fashion. So I go online, and TV manufacturers are balls. They're like, you know what? We're not making those anymore. We're only going to make the 4K ones. We're not going to make the old ones. And yeah, you can get one that's made by some fucking company that China Great, or something like that. And you're like, I don't think that's going to be a good TV. You read these reviews and people are all like, it was fine until the button started sticking on the remote and now the volume is at maximum.
On fire.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, okay. I guess I'm going to get stuck getting a 4K TV.
No one returns calls.
So I found a reasonably priced 4K TV, and then it was out of stock, of course. So I'm like, all right, I'll get it in stock. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I got these 3D movies because I bought that PlayStation TV that was completely garbage. And it had a bug in it, so it just stopped working after a certain amount of time, which was just how it was. If you had a PlayStation TV, it would just stop working after a certain date. And the only way to fix it would be to send in.
This was like our old TV. You got to get rid of it. You need a forklift.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like that, but you had to send it to some dude on eBay, and if you wanted to get the ROMs flashed to get rid of the bug, because otherwise it had a memory leak. It ran out of memory, it crashed the whole TV. So, but I still had these movies. So I said, all right, I'm gonna get a 3D TV. I'm gonna go in and cancel this one. So God knows if it'll ever come back in stock, and I'm gonna get a 3D TV. Well, apparently TV manufacturers don't like 3D anymore. So all of the reasonably priced 4K TVs, which you think they would just have 3D, it's just an extra thing that they're just like, well, just include that as well. No, they don't want to do that. So you have to spend a lot more money to get a 3D TV as well. So I did it. I'm not proud of myself, but I did it. So I ordered it. It's coming on Wednesday.
You did it.
I need to still buy a shed, though. That was my shed money.
You should have just.
So now I got to save up for the
TV
shed.
and
It's just
build it for it.
It's dumb. But I needed. See, my tube TV that I have is an HD TV. It burned out, and so I'm going to take the 32-inch with the big thick bevel and put that in my bedroom. I'm going to take the TV that's down in the living room, put it in the family room, and then put the new TV downstairs. That's my plan. So
Bunch of poor people who hate you right now.
that's not my my whole week. People buy TVs all the time. Jesus Christ. You ever watch any of those cop shows or anything on TV? Whenever they break into somebody's house in the ghetto, they always have a giant flat screen TV on a stand. I'm always like, what the fuck? Why do they have that big ass TV? Like, that's what their tax return went to. Big ass TV.
Dude, so one of the shows that I watch is I watch my Bar Rescue reality TV show, because that's where I get all my tips for when I open McCloskey's Pub.
Right.
But right after that is Life or Debt. And so every so often I'll catch that because I'm too lazy to get up off the couch. And I was watching this one episode in like this family, they're making good money, but they're talking about how they're broke, and like right off the bat they're overextended on their house because we have to live in a good neighborhood because of our kids and blah blah blah, and they're completely overpaying. They should be whatever. But as he's going through their house, they have 2 huge flat screen TVs, and he's asking about how much they cost, and the good one in the basement that he got for his rec room, dude financed it. He's like, wait, so you took out a loan to buy yourself a $5,000 TV? He's like, well, yeah. I think I know.
That's a lot of money. That's crazy money for a
Yeah.
TV. I didn't spend anywhere near that, just so you know. I mean, you can get some of those crazy, like, 120-inch TVs for that kind of money. But, I mean, where would I put that? That would be ridiculous. I mean, not that I would, but I mean, like, like, it's so big. Like, where would I put that? It doesn't even make sense.
You can fit it down there in the basement where your TV is, as long as you don't mind sitting 4 feet from it.
Yeah, I guess I have this rule. Like, I don't mind having a big TV, don't get me wrong, but I have a kind of a rule that I don't want to turn my head while I'm watching television. That's just how it is. If I gotta, like, look to see what the people are looking at on the other side of the screen, that's too close.
Yeah, well, like whenever there's a good movie on or something, you have to watch it with somebody, so you can be like, hey, Brian, let me know if anything happens on the right side of the screen. I'll let you know what's up on the left.
Okay, and falls asleep.
Yeah, you see everybody shocked. He's like, he's in the window, and they're looking at the window, so you gotta look at the window, too. That's terrible. But, yeah, that's about it. I mean, other stuff. But let's do the news. We finally got some solid details about the new Star Trek TV show, Beyond a Logo, and they sound very promising for old school fans. Showrunner Brian Fuller, best known for heading up the well-received Hannibal series, gave Collider a rundown of the early essentials, including how long the first season will be and what qualities Fuller's looking for in a new crew. First off, about that crew.
Sounds like it's going to be ass.
Fuller doesn't have any specific casting announcements to make yet, but you can expect Star Trek to keep unifying people of all skin colors, identities, and intelligent species on a single bridge. Quote, I've met with a few actors and it's an interesting process, Fuller said. There's a few people that we like and we want to carry on what Star Trek does best, which is being progressive. So it's fascinating to look at all of these roles through a colorblind prism and a gender-blind prism, so that's exciting. I think the progressive audience that loves Star Trek will be happy that we're continuing that tradition. If they look through a colorblind prism, and then they'd all be white actors, and then they'd be like, "Whoops, we don't know how that happened, but we didn't actually look at anybody's photo before we hired them, and so we're sorry." Yeah, I don't know. They'll come together for a 13-episode season, with each episode being part of one serial arc. That means the show will be moving away from the more episodic storytelling typical for early Star Trek programs, but Fuller says you should still be able to look at the original series and pick out episodes we're using this DNA of and using the spirit of what Star Trek offers, both in terms of high-concept science fiction storytelling and really wonderful metaphors for the human condition. Yeah, I don't know about it.
Great. That's what we want as a lesson.
Right. Yeah.
Brian and I looked at the Prelude to Axanar, which is that fan-made video on YouTube, which they then kickstarted to make a full-blown motion picture, and it looks really good. Like, for something that fans made, like it looks great. If you get a chance to watch Prelude to Axanar, you should totally search on YouTube and watch it, because the movie's never going to get made.
No, but that little 30-minute flick. You got Tony Todd. You got I can't remember his name. The guy that played Apollo in the original Battlestar Galactica.
Dirk Benedict.
No, that was Starbuck.
Well, that's Starbuck. Richard Hatch.
Yeah, Richard Hatch. He's like Karn, the bad guy, General Klingon, He was really mellow, by the way, for a Klingon.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw the name, I'm like, that's like a Warhammer 40K like iconic character name. And I guarantee nobody that likes Warhammer 40,000 is going to give a shit. They're like, yeah, cool. Another
It's like,
Karn, great.
It's not
Klingon,
like a
why
movie.
not?
It's like a documentary. Like it's like a 20-minute documentary
Yeah,
about.
it was like you see like the History Channel with old generals talking about shit. But
Yeah.
like, you see Tony Todd, he's like the main fucking Starfleet fucking admiral, and I'm like, you couldn't have picked a better guy.
It's totally worth watching that preview of it, and then. But Paramount recently released their
God damn, this
rules.
is what I want to see. This is great.
Their rules for making a fan video is like you can only
No,
make
no,
it less than 15 minutes. It can only have one extra 15-minute add-on. It can't cost more than $50,000. It can't use any actors hired on any of the shows. None of the actors can be professional. It goes on and on. It's like basically if you make Star Trek out of clay and you're a kid, that's okay. But if you do anything else on your own, you're going to court.
Yeah,
so these guys are fucked.
I mean, the thing of it is, like, I think what they're mostly concerned about is, are you making any money on this?
Well,
You know, if
yeah,
you're
but
making
see,
money, then yeah, you're cooked. If you're
that's
not,
what
it's like, well,
that's what people were saying though. They were saying that Prelude to Axanar was nonprofit, and that was normally how studios look the other way. That's why Star Wars often looks the other way. But Paramount and
it's Paramount.
I mean, it's all owned by Viacom. They basically taking them to court, shutting it down.
You know what we do get to see though? That Star Trek Beyond piece of shit.
Yeah.
That we're gonna get.
Right. We're going to get that. But if you watch Prelude to Axanar, watch it, Larry. I bet you at least like it enough
man.
for a fan base. It's really good for fan
Yeah,
base.
keep in your mind when you're watching it, it's fan made. But yeah, the fucking special effects were great.
Yeah.
I was really surprised, man. I was like, God damn, this is the Star Trek I want.
Yeah.
You know, there's backgrounds, but it's not like it kills you.
I don't know if it's the spirit of Star Wars or Star Trek, to be fair, but it's still good. Like, it's still a movie I would watch. Like,
Totally.
because I think Gene Roddenberry didn't believe in war, but they had it in Deep Space Nine, so that box is already been
Roddenberry's
opened.
dead anyway. Who cares?
Yeah. Let's see. Mainstream video games have a problem with sex. The question they struggle with today is not whether or not to include it, but rather how to portray it. According to Robert Yang, during a 2016 Games for Change talk, most video games are still missing some key points. Sex can be awkward, and it's definitely messy. Quote, bad sex helps us think about sex in general, Yang said, because sex is more than just good or satisfying. I mean, it's good if you can have good and satisfying sex, but sex is also bad. Sex is also often embarrassing. Sex is also weird, funny, sad. Sad. Sex is all of these things.
It is. Come on. Sometimes.
You just sob.
Don't lie. We've all had sad
I'm
sex.
so sorry that
Yeah.
my performance has been this rubbish. Yang, the developer behind games such as Cobra Club, Hurt Me Plenty, and Rinse and Repeat, discussed the topic in a talk called, quote, How to Be Better at Sex in Video Games. In one example, he brought up Dragon Age Inquisition, a title praised for its handling of LGBT characters and sex. Quote, I actually don't really like the sex in Dragon Age Inquisition because I feel like it wants to be this weird, perfect porn sex, Yang said. And perfect porn sex is always clean and efficient. No mess, no false starts, no hiccups or anything.
You
Don't
don't
make
have to worry about the
perfect porn
cartoon coming
sex
and knocking on your
games.
door like, hey,
I think that's where a lot of the mainstream industry goes wrong. They want these perfect supermodels having perfect ordinary sex or something, but that feels kind of dishonest almost. You can't really relate or empathize with that kind of thing. Dragon Age isn't alone in not quite capturing the full feel of coupling in Yang's analysis. The developer named check franchises such as God of War, Mass Effect, or The Witcher. The Witcher gets laid a lot, pointing out that these games isolate sex from the rest of the game. That's not how it works. Quote, in these games, sex never bleeds, Yang said. Sex never oozes out of a cutscene or minigame. How can you enjoy sex if you can't accept that this is what bodies do and sex does? Sex involves negotiation, awkwardness, and uncertainty. These things are beautiful and invaluable because they reflect our experiences and honesty. I want to honor the depth and complexity of sex with games.
God damn it. Why even
I'm
lie
not
about
talking about this because now it gets all weird. But Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I really don't want too much sex in my video games. I just want my video games. I just want the game part. I don't really... It's fine if it advances the storyline or something, but I don't really care.
Otherwise, it's just a distraction.
Yeah, I don't need it. It's just more video to watch that I want to get through to get to the fighting. Unless they can make it into a game somehow, but I think they tried that with hot coffee, and that didn't go over so well. Good news, everyone. If you're thinking of buying a Rift or Valve Vive to play VR games in the future, you can go back to selecting that hardware based on its merits and not software exclusives. This weekend, the timed Oculus exclusive for Superhot was essentially defeated when Oculus silently allowed the Revive hack to work again. Officially, the company said it was to, quote, to better support developers, end quote. Unofficially, the company seems to have buckled due to piracy concerns, massive consumer outcry, and a lesson in basic economics when selling a PC game that Steam users aren't allowed to have. Anyway, then they go into a timeline. I'm not reading all that crap. Steam Top 10. Number 10, Stardew Valley. Number 9, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Number 8, Arma 3. Number 7, Ark Survival Evolved. Number 6, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Number 5, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Number 4, Fallout 4. Number 3, Dead by Daylight. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5. And number 1, Doom.
Doom.
After surviving THQ's collapse, the end is officially nigh for Valhalla Game Studios' beleaguered debut project. Nintendo will take Devil's Third offline at the end of this calendar year, less than a year after the long-in-development game was finally released. Valhalla Game Studios' first and so far only game launches a Wii U exclusive in Japan, Europe, and Australia in August 2015, with a US launch following in December of the same year. However, despite its relatively short time on the market, Nintendo has decided to discontinue the online multiplayer service on December 28, 2016. Nintendo will also cease selling the in-game currency Golden Eggs on June 27, 2016.
Get a golden egg in the mail, it's all rotten. Ugh.
The price of the game on the Wii U eShop has been cut from $60, presumably, it doesn't say to $30, presumably in recognition of the impact that the end of Devil's Third's multiplayer will have on its value to the consumer. There you go. Thinking about buying that one, Devil's Third, remember,
It's half off.
yeah, half off with half the game. Games coming out this week. Tuesday, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, as if you didn't know. The Technomancer and Zero Time Dilemma. Wednesday,
Technomancer is supposed to be pretty good.
Wednesday is Inside. Those are all multi-platform. And that's it for the week, because it's probably 4th of July weekend and everything coming up.
I'll probably have to work. Even if it's a Sunday. I'm like, nope, Brian, you have to go to work. What?
All right,
You know
let me get bring up the email.
I don't want to work. No. Last time it was 4th of July, I had to spend in the hotel. Some fucking small goddamn town. I was pissed.
Do you guys go see fireworks?
I do.
Do you, Dan? Do you go? Don't you go over like?
Billy's house.
Yeah, Gillies. Doesn't he have
They have,
something?
they have that street party, and they have their own fireworks show and everything. The cops get called every year. It's a great time. They have an ice cream truck show up.
On fire.
I'm just pushing kids to the side, like, get out of the way, I need a scooter crunch.
I want to push up.
Which, by the way, I bought some Blue Bunny. I think that's what the name of it was.
Those
Hold
aren't
on.
very good.
Blue Ribbon. See that?
Abs.
I don't know about Blue Ribbon.
I tried those Blue Ribbon Sunday bars, crunches.
Yeah.
They look good, don't they? But they weren't the best.
They didn't equal out to a scooter crunch, is what you're saying?
It just didn't have that. It had parts of it. It had components of it. But then there was just like that one little thing that just threw it off, and you're like, no, that's not it.
Guns or some shit.
Well, that would have been it.
All right, we got a lot of email to cut through, so we'll get as many in as we can before the show's over.
They pull our plug.
This one's to Brian at videogamenews.com, and it's from Smokes Mad. And he says, the Bernie Sanders is village idiot written on his head comment from my 529 episode had me laughing out of my chair. Keep it up, guys. Undead from Cleveland sucks. All hail Star Force. Thanks, man.
Star Force. Is that it?
No, yeah, hold on. I
Oh.
gotta.
We can get through our mail, all one of it.
Yeah, everything went silent.
This one's from Jason. He writes in and says, "Hey Kevin, I'm curious about your massive video game console collection." Oh, and he wrote it to grab wood by the burning end at videogamenews.com. Oh, that's my brother.
Awesome.
Some of my questions I have are: one, how big is it? How many consoles would you say you have? About 180, maybe 190. Two, where do you store it all? In Lexons, mostly in my basement, some are in the garage. Number three,
Robots.
when did you start it? 1993?
1978.
No, later than that. 1996, I think. No, wait. 98.
Start?
1998. That's when I started.
1999. Brother
Four.
son.
Do you? I mean, it all
I
depends
don't know
because
the fucking-
I certainly have one console that I've had forever. So you know. Do you collect games and accessories for the consoles as well, or just the console? So I don't collect games because they can be emulated. However, I often do have some games with the consoles so that they can be played or demoed. But I don't go out of my way to get console games because they can be emulated and copied, and I don't think they have. I mean, obviously, some have
Intrinsic value.
some have a lot of value that are out there, but the thing is that there's also a lot of fakes and forgeries that I was always aware of, and I think when you get out of cartridges and you get into discs, it'd be really easy for a Chinese company to produce legitimate looking fakes, and very hard to find that they're not fake. So I mean, it was just something I thought about, and I was like, I don't want to collect games. Plus, 99% of them aren't going to be worth shit. So you're going to buy a lot of games for nothing. You can have the stupid picture that you see on Facebook all the time of somebody with a big wall of games. Look at my game collection. Yeah, it's all like I could have a game collection like that too, buying the dollar games out of the bargain bin, and stacking them all on the wall. Like it's not that impressive. It looks cool, but it looks like you wasted your money. You could have bought.
So if you recorded and put it on the internet, somebody would just pause and start like mocking your shit pretty fast.
I mean it's just games to me. Like you could think of all the shitty sports games that you could get for like a quarter. You know what I mean? And now some guy's got I got the whole history of Madden right here on the wall. Well, yeah.
I've got Lacrosse '97.
Yeah, I mean,
It might be like the best game ever. I don't know. Just threw that out there.
yeah.
The Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, Breeders' Cup, right. Some people have those really rare Nintendo games or Atari 2600 games. I'm not knocking it. There's some that are worth a lot of money, but I don't know. Just wasn't for me. Got to pick something. I just picked consoles. That was it. Do you ever take an old console out once in a while and play a game or two on it? Rarely. It's usually the Vectrex when somebody comes over. Most of the consoles, a lot of them are just garage sale units that if I probably plug them in, they're going to catch on fire. Even the Vectrex takes a while to warm up before it even displays a picture. Because these things were built in like the 70s and 80s, and it's 2016. It's a long effing time ago. They've been exposed to air and corrosion, and they weren't designed to last that long. Whatever funky foam or glue that they sprayed on that shit back then, they weren't thinking this shit's gonna last 100 years. Fucking no idea. It's like with old NES systems. They used to be white. If you have an old NES system, it's probably brown because the white plastic has oxidized now that most of them are brown. So things like that. What's your personal favorite video game system?
Just send him an email, man.
Probably the PlayStation 4 at the moment. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't really, because I would think about which one am I playing the most. PlayStation 4? You know what I mean? I'm not reaching down and going I'm gonna go home after work and play some Vectrex. It's not gonna happen. Old systems, when you go back to them and play those horrible interfaces and those menus and the fucking
It takes some getting used to, that's for sure. Because I played the PS2 the other day, playing Fire Warrior, just for shits and giggles, and I had fun playing it. But yeah, it's like you expect the graphics to be a lot better than they're gonna be, and it's like no, they're really not that good.
Okay, I call bullshit because Archon on the original NES is still awesome.
That I can believe.
How much money do you think you've blown on collecting it all? That's the last question. Less than $10,000. Because you got to think of the new systems I've bought, like recently, and add those in, and those are the most expensive. I mean, I have like that Laserdisc, laser active. That was really expensive when I bought it, and I have a few other things. This one's from Anigiri, and he writes to your Muppet friend Adam at videogamenews.com. Kevin, you stupid idiot. I can't believe you. You went and bought a new mow lawner because your last one was underwater? All you need to do is call up your buddy Adam, and he can find whatever part you would need from one of those 4 mowers that he has in his living room. He has a lathe and could build you whatever you even need if you cannibalize it from another mower. Throwing your money away instead of working with the advantages you have. Still in Thailand, and it is hot as fuck. Did you get your scooter going? No. And the lawnmower might turn over. It might. But the wheels broke. And so pushing around a 3-wheeled lawnmower is ghetto as fuck. I can't do it. So at some point, I'll bring it out and take it in to get repaired. But it's heavy. It needs to get into the back of a truck or something. I don't have a truck. So I don't know. I got it. This one's from Nookie, and he writes to Ironing Board and Tidy Whiteys at videogamenews.com. Why are you making fun of my dad? It's not cool.
Yeah, what the hell?
Hey there, Cavs fans. Just wanted to quickly chime in by asking those of you classy bachelors who have returned to civilization from marriage, sorry, Kevin, coming out from the vault after signing that divorce paper, what was the first thing that you wanted to do or buy the most? Cheers, Nookie.
I just wanted to sleep in.
I just wanted to sleep in.
I didn't have money to buy anything, and I could sleep in.
Weren't allowed, like the rest of us that were married at one point.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when I was finally divorced, I was already living in my parents' basement with my girlfriend paying for most of our dates. So, no, I didn't go out on a big spending spree or anything. Didn't get to give myself a new bachelor party or anything. And honestly, even if I had had all the money in the world, I had just purchased back my soul and my fucking freedom, and that was all I needed. There's nothing else in the world I could have bought that would have given me the same happiness as having that piece of paper in my hand saying that I was no longer fucking hers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always seems like when I've had these conversations before with you guys that the thing that you guys want is, or felt, is that, oh my God, thank God it's over.
Right.
That seems to be the...
Well, the thing you do first, or the thing that you get first, is not a monetary, physical item. It's just the fact that I had my own apartment, and I had to say to myself in my head, you don't have to call her to tell her you're not coming home.
Yeah.
You are home. And then it was like, sweet, I'm shutting the phone off, and then that was it. Right to sleep.
Honestly, it's not even, despite my hyperbole, it's not so much like you feel this great liberation or you feel like angels singing or whatever. It's like you walk out of the courtroom and you wake the fuck up.
I took a camera with me.
Like the nightmare.
The cage door's open now.
Yeah, you walk out and it doesn't matter if your hearing was at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and it's been raining all day, there's still somehow sunlight coming in the windows and you're awake and alive, and you take that first, it's like when you get out of prison and you take that first breath of free air and you're like
drawing long and hard from your nose, in through the nose, out through the
mouth.
mouth.
And also you get a phone call from her, she's like, don't forget you have to be in court tomorrow or something.
You're like, well, yeah, you're like,
You start to twitch. You start screaming, ah, ah, ah. And you wake up, you're in bed.
you're like, everything's gonna be okay now. And then you get home, and
No,
like,
it's not.
and like the first bit of mail from child support is already waiting for you on the table.
The sheriff.
Damn it.
All right, this one's from Jackal, and he writes to Kevin needs happy pills at videogamenews.com.
Oh, he doesn't.
I have some.
Says, I honestly think Kevin might have a massive brain tumor, and he's just incapable of manufacturing endorphins anymore. Nothing seems to bring him joy. Yes, he's always kind of been a cynical bastard, but there were a few things that he got excited about in the old days. Not anymore. Just recently he bitched about Deadpool having a weak story. The Kevin I know from 2008 would have denied that a deep story was needed, and that people who didn't like a movie like that were people who are no fun, and he wouldn't want to go see movies with them. Cough, Doomsday, cough, Grindhouse, cough, cough. Yeah, but it's different. It's different. It's
movie has to
not.
have a
It's not
plot.
about me. It's about other people. Like people really latched on to a movie, Deadpool, that really didn't have much of a story. That's all. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I just found that to be odd, considering there's a lot of other movies that are bending over backwards to try to provide a good story, and people are less enthused about them. Because what happened, man? You get too old to enjoy mindless action and over-the-top hijinks in film. I know you're going to go into a 30-minute diatribe about how everything sucks and nothing is original, but come on. The era you lived in didn't exactly always produce original content either, and you still enjoyed it because it was fun. I seriously think you need some happy pills. Not the ones that turn you into a stinking fat blob that plays MMOs day and night, but perhaps since science has figured out a way to make even Kevin Baird not act like a more boring version of Don Cease. Just saying. At least you have Days X to look forward to. That is all. P.S. I've now been promoted from part-time EMT to full-time EMT, and will be working the night shift like I always wanted. I'm still up for filling in on the show one of these days. I get every other weekend off, so keep that in mind, please. I don't have a
I
diet.
think Kevin's right where he needs to be.
He balances the rest of us out.
Here's. But see, that's the thing. It's like you got to be on the inside. Sometimes being miserable is fun.
It has its lure, that's for sure.
Oh my
It does. It does. And there's been times where Kevin has told me, "Hey, dude, be miserable for a little bit. Makes me laugh." And then I'll go and I'll be miserable and complain about stuff.
Do it. You're a man about it. You don't cry.
I'm like, Kevin, if that's what makes you happy, I will do that. And I've done it.
No, I mean, I think if anybody's listened to this show or typed on a forum with me over the past however long we've been doing this, 13
Thousands of
years or
years.
5,000 years or something, but I just speak my mind. So if I don't like something, you're going to get offended, and I might be wrong, but that's
You will
all I
be.
do. I don't sugarcoat it, because that would be even worse, I think.
Right.
If this show was like, we just liked everything on this show, like everything was great, I don't know. It would
Like
feel
everybody
really
else,
disingenuous.
dude, you should see this. This is great.
Yeah. Like, I was just on you talking about how great everything was. You'd be like, But Brian wouldn't let it happen anyway.
No.
He'd be like, Kevin's got a dick in his ass over this movie.
Totally.
Blah, blah, blah. So, got limits. This is from Other Ian. And he writes to me at videogamenews.com. He says, Other Ian here. Kevin, what did you think of E3 this year? I felt like there was nothing that wowed me.
He hasn't liked
mostly-
it since years ago.
Sony previewing games that will be out hopefully by 2020. Everything else was just a sequel to a so-so video game property. Also, bonus question for Brian.
But
What did you think of the World of Warcraft movie? I thought it was okay. I think they made a mistake making it a prequel and not starting with the Arthas story. Arthas story.
Yeah.
Because this story was kind of lame.
I haven't seen it, and I have had no. I mean, I'll probably see it when it comes out, like on iTunes or Netflix or something. I have no expectations of it actually being remotely good. I typically try not to have expectations to begin with, because that's just for suckers. From the preview looked rather tasty as far as special effects. I know that they're capable of creating decent storylines, and I know that they're capable of making fucking whole goddamn expansions about teddy bears. So it's kind of hard for me to really want to get hyped about a video game movie, because most of the video game movies that are out there are absolute fucking rubbish. There's only a handful of them I can think of off the top of my head that are kind of good. The rest are just junk. What do you guys? What's your favorite? Whatchamacallit?
Whatchamacallit? That's a
Video
great
Yeah,
game
that
movie?
whatchamacallit. You like the whatchamacallit? You like the Snickers? No.
That's
what's
a
your
damn
favorite
tasty candy bar, by the way.
video game movie. What's your favorite?
The only one that I think is good is Silent
Street
Hill.
Fighter.
Yeah, I was going with Silent Hill. That's my favorite too.
Mortal Kombat.
Some of them are watchable, like Mortal Kombat. I can watch the first Tomb Raider, even though it's ridiculous. Angelina Jolie. Look, I can watch some of those Bowl films, which are horrible.
Oh, you mean In the Name of the King?
Any of those.
I watched the
Blood
second one, Don't
Rain.
Blumber, today, and it's like
Postal.
it's not actually worse than the first one. It's just that because at least the first one had kind of a plot, but not
They're
anymore.
not good. Doom, I can watch.
I'm going with Street Fighter. Damn it.
Street Fighter. Super Mario movie. We're like,
Oh my god, that was unwatchable.
John Leguizamo's freaking Mexican. Playing an Italian.
This fucking Dennis Hopper.
Nobody talks about that shit. This one's from Jezreel. He writes in finally at videogamenews.com. He says, haven't written in a while, Kevin and crew, but still a loyal listener to VGN. Can we finally see a happy Larry Mack now that Cleveland has its first sports glory in forever?
It's temporary.
Can Larry feel the rays of sunshine for once in his life?
He did. He caught on fire.
And finally, where were you when the Cavs won Game 7? Keep rocking out in Cleveland, Don and crew.
Hiding in my basement, knowing that the end was on its way.
Was that for everybody?
I was actually at home because my
Watching a thing about Kennedy,
I,
the assassination.
I totally thought the game was the next day. I was like, fuck.
Need my guns.
I was at home watching the game via text with somebody because it's a whole big long story on why we couldn't hook up and go downtown like we wanted to. So we wound up just watching it together via text.
I watched it at Curtis's on the 14th floor.
Were you ready to jump with the rest of them? You guys link arms and say, okay, when they lose, we all go at 3.
Well, if you listen to Tumbling with Tumbleweed, I discuss it in depth.
1, 2.
Otherwise,
Wait, is it 2, 3 we jump, or you say 3 we just jump?
somebody stepped out the front door of the building and started lighting off them big fireworks that shoot up into the air. And I can tell you right now,
Go to RPG, sir.
they go about 13 stories. I was watching the top of them explode into Curtis's balcony.
Why don't you just drop a toilet out of it?
Well, I didn't want to step out there because I was going to get blown up.
I watched
we
it in my
we
basement.
did have some people running out. You know, we did kind of here in the apartment have to run outside in the parking lot and shoot off some fireworks and stuff. So
With your
I was
balls
in my
there.
basement, and I did stand up and get really excited when they won.
Just because we thought that
and
there
did a
might
lot
be
of
riots. So
shouting.
the Bears all got into basements because that's like our bomb shelter. Because anybody can actually get in if they break in the house.
And I was also switching between that and Game of Thrones during the relentless commercial onslaught that goes on during the game. Finally,
Any this year.
Antonio writes into red paste and hot dog crust at
We
videogamenews.com.
just talked about that too.
And he says, hello, Don and crew. What is the weirdest thing you guys have eaten at each other's houses?
Pussy.
Well, we know what we ate at Brian's house. It was that red paste, crust, and
You ate it though.
vampire wine.
Did you go to
Didn't you-
Kevin's? You get a cake.
Didn't you have
I was gonna say Kevin did have game night at his place with cake.
Didn't you have a tarantula?
Was that Larry's where
wine?
they had the uncooked pizza?
We got the
Yeah.
raw pizza
Yeah, my house
is
is
true.
my
from
house
Pizza
is the only
Hut
one that's fucked
that
up.
still
Just-
took us like an hour to get.
Yeah,
Kevin had cake? Wait, what?
Kevin always had.
Not
cake.
at this game. Not at this game. This gaming series. Previous.
Yeah, when he was over in
You had
Strong's.
that Subway gigantic sandwich that we couldn't possibly finish if we tried. You guys eat some more. It's like, dude, you gonna put us in an oven next? Calm down, man. Oh, come on, I bought it. God damn it, eat it.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat anymore. Fat son of a bitch. You're gonna eat it.
I had
You gotta
that.
do it.
Had that
I think-
sausage.
See,
and,
if you guys had come with Kevin to the one Friday the 13th thing I had here, you could have had some vodka-soaked gummy bears.
Oh boy.
I had Rob's sausage, and
Yeah, that would always knock you in. That always knocked me. His wine. I told him that on Facebook. I'm like, talking about games. I mentioned Larry, of course, because you always mention Larry about Dungeons and Dragons and shit.
Right.
And
it was like eating a meat flavored candle. That's how I could describe it.
prosciutto.
Yeah.
Really fucking good red wine. And cheese. And then that was the end. You just, like, my heart would just slow down. The calorie intake from just a couple nibbles and 1/2 glass of wine was like 5,000. So you're always like, I'm done. I'm going to lay down here. I'm tired. I go to sleep. I take a nap. I just die right fucking there. He's like, all right, well, Ryan's not playing right now. Oh, it's okay. He's just the fucking healer. Who cares? You know?
Yeah.
It's not like my healer character could ever fucking get there in time because you fuckers are always dead. Plus I was always spiking my hair with dung, so
Oh my god. All right, that's it for the show. We'll be back next week. It'll be July 4th weekend, so hopefully nobody's fingers get blown off for the show. Otherwise, it'll be hard to click on the mouse to start the show.
But if you do, please write in at videogamenews.com and let us know how it went.
Also, tumble in with Tumbleweed on Tuesday nights if you really want to find out what Don's doing.
Yeah, which obviously, from the looks of it, nobody cares.
That's it. All right.
Bye.
See ya.
Peace. Was that it? Oh.